Hello to those listening. This is the freest of speech. And this time I want to talk about, can Planned Parenthood pretty much be eliminated in around a year? And I say yes, it could. And this is how it could happen. First, I want to go to the U.S. Equal Employment Opportunities Commission because I'm looking for how the government would define sex discrimination. And when you go there, it says this: sex discrimination involves treating someone, an applicant or employee, unfavorably because of that person's sex. Now, there's some more there, but this is the part where I need. And the links will be below if you want to read up more on the information I'm going to be providing. Now, because I'm talking about Planned Parenthood, the question is, does Planned Parenthood and the federal government really have a working relationship with each other? Well, if you go over to this Vox article that was done in July 26, 2016, the headline says it all. Planned Parenthood gets over 500 billion annually in public funds. This is an article written in favor of Planned Parenthood. If you go down there, it'll talk about some of the things that they do with the money, blah 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 blah. But the thing is, it still gets 500 million. And hold on, let me scroll down to this part real quick, just so you can see the impact of what that money does. And it comes down to this paragraph here, where it states this one sentence here, where it says, as if Congress did defund Planned Parenthood, it would be a huge blow to the group. About 40% of its budget comes from government grants. As much of that spending gets done on the federal level. Now, this really just shows you why Planned Parenthood is so engrossed in federal politics. I mean, 40% is a huge chunk. They say directly, without this money, they cease to exist. So we know that the federal government and Planned Parenthood are they're in deep together. So you may be saying, well, you're talking about sex-based discrimination, and you talked about how good they're in bed with each other. So how does this translate to 1 year and they're gone? Well, we need to go to one more place, and I want to go to Planned Parenthood's actual website, and I'm just going to read off the first paragraph under the who we are description that they describe themselves with. Planned Parenthood is one of the nation's leading providers of high quality, affordable health care for women, men, and young people, and the nation's largest provider of sex education. Planned Parenthood also works with partners organizations worldwide to improve the sexual health and well-being of individuals and families everywhere. Now, this is what they say they're doing. They're saying they're providing health care for men, women, and young people in and around the world. Now, remember, health care is a very, very neutral thing. You really can't put too much favoritism in it. You can't really sexually discriminate by doing this. But let's keep going one more step. And still on Planned Parenthood's website, this is what Planned Parenthood's services for men are. And here we go. Number one, erectile dysfunction education. Well, here's the thing. You don't need them for that. You can website this one. So that's one thing they don't actually need to do. Erectile dysfunction referrals. Well, if you look up what erectile dysfunction is, you'll find a doctor, aka they don't do it, they just point you to the right people. So that's two things that you don't need them for. Erectile dysfunction examinations. Well, you kind of need a doctor for that one, so we'll give them that one. Erectile dysfunction treatments, you need a doctor for that one, we'll give them that one. Jock X examination and treatments, yeah, you kind of need a doctor for that one, so we'll give them that one. Male infertility screening and referrals, Well, you need a doctor for the screening, but you don't need one for a referral. And here's the thing: if you go look for this yourself, you will go past them. So, that's not really too good. Let's go down a little bit more. Let's get these last few ones up. Premature ejaculation education. You don't need it for that. The internet exists. Premature ejaculation referrals. Again, the internet exists. Premature ejaculation exam. Okay, you kind of need a doctor for that one, so let's give them that one. Even though if you're looking up the referral yourself, you probably will go past them, but we'll give it to them just on principle. Premature ejaculation treatment. Okay, you kind of need a doctor for that one, so we'll let them have that one. Testicular and prostate cancer screening. You need a doctor for that one. We'll let them have that one. Vasectomies. We'll let them have that one. So, out of these 11 things, 5 of them you don't even need them for. And 2 out of the 8 that I said that you would let them have, if you, depending on how you do it, if you look up the information beforehand, you'll probably go past them to somebody else because you're going to need a referral from it anyway. But these are the 8 services that Planned Parenthood highlights that it has for men. Now, I want to switch over to this. And what we have here is an annual report from 2014 to 2015 and the Orange and San Bernardino counties. This is a Planned Parenthood report. Now, let's see what we have here. Now, I'm not reading this. But in fact, let me full screen this. See, I'm not going to read this. What I'm doing is I'm just flipping through it. And I'm flipping through it because I want you to see something here. Besides, you see all the women. They were the politicians, the government right there. What their services are, again, not really that important. But I want to get to this part right here. Let's see. Long-acting birth control, breast health examinations, emergency contraception, wellness, cervical cancer screenings, nutritional education, child provided with needed items, infant assessment counseling, breastfeeding consultation, and they have numbers. They have really nice chunk numbers in these areas. But what these areas have in common is eliminate the one that is about giving kids items. Every one of these things can be attached to a woman. These aren't referrals. These aren't examinations. These are actual tangible things that they do on behalf of these individual women. And that's pretty much the end of it. Yeah, let's exit out of here because we don't need this anymore. Now, it's time for me to switch over to a little more hardcore data. I mean, who doesn't love a little hardcore data? I mean, it's got numbers and everything. Now, what we have here, just go to the top, you see, this is Planned Parenthood and Men's Health. This was put out by them. Now, all this other stuff is, for me, fluff. We're going to go down here where we got to see by the numbers. Whenever you see by the numbers, you know you in for a good time if you like numbers like me. Let's get started. In 2014, Planned Parenthood health centers nationwide served more than 250,000 male patients. That's a lot of people in 1 year. I mean, even if you look back to, even if you go back to the last screen where we was pointing out all the San Bernardino Valley's services that pretty much went directly to women. If you add all those women together, you don't even come near close to this. So I guess, they must be doing something. But let's continue. In the last 10 years, Planned Parenthood has doubled the number of male patients we see nationally for health issues that affect men. Between 2004 and 2014, there was a 76% increase in Planned Parenthood's male patients. All right, now we got a problem here. Those 2 sentences numbers don't add up. You see, and it starts with, in the last 10 years, Planned Parenthood has doubled the number of male patients, right? Well, and then it goes into 2014, there was a 76% increase. Well, here's the thing. In 2014, We know that they see more than 250,000. We know that they see 251,000 because they would have said 251,000. So the maximum number would have to be 250,999. But here's the thing: if it says this number doubled in the last 10 years, that means because they also put 2004 up there, by 2004, they'll only have to be servicing at a minimum 125,000 men nationwide. But it also says that in between 2004 and 2014, there was a 76% increase. Well, here's the thing: if in 2014 they were seeing around 125,000 because 10 years ago the number doubled, 75% of that only takes it up to 2,100. No, it's 218,750. That's at 75%. Even adding that extra percent will not make you nowhere near 250,000. So the second line counters the first line. So those some real fudgy numbers right there. And when I see fudgy numbers like that, I see somebody trying to be suspect, or maybe the person who wrote this up at Planned Parenthood don't know how to math well. But anyway, let's continue on. Enough of the bad math parts. 23% of the services we provide for men are HIV tests, 30% are gonorrhea tests, and 30% are chlamydia tests. Now, you may look at this and it sounds like it's a lot, but the thing is, most tests are, you can get a general screening. You can take one test and pretty much scan for everything. So, at maximum, these guys are just breaking down the test and doing it inefficiently, or Planned Parenthood is trying to scam us again, like they did the other part with the fucked up numbers that don't match up, and they're just breaking down the test individually to make them seem more like they're doing more. Since the fact those other numbers again were very scammy. And the last point, I think they're just trying to scam again. Final point. Every day, Planned Parenthood works in schools and communities across the country to provide high quality sex education programs. We serve young men through our sex education programs and outreach, which reaches 1.5 million people each year. Now, the only issue I can see with this is, what are they actually doing with this sex education? I mean, what are they supposed to be teaching? Are they saying use condoms? Well, here's the thing. You get that education from a goddamn Trojan commercial. Are they teaching abstinence? Well, you get that education from a church and everyone around you. Are they teaching them about what, STDs? I mean, you learn about stuff like that in goddamn biology class. So what is this education that they're supposed to be throwing out? Matter of fact, what is this high quality education? And I actually looked up, trying through the website. Did you know? I've been flipping through a bunch of these things. I couldn't find out what their version of high quality education was, and I really wanted to know because it says high quality. I mean, is it really worth the $500 million that the government gives it because it's that high quality? Because I mean, if it's that high quality, we should just take it and just put it in schools, and then we don't need that anymore. But now that we've done with these numbers and I've done a lot of reading, going from place to place, this is the reason in which I will say that thanks to the sex-based discrimination, you will can see Planned Parenthood go bye-bye. Now, I want to do one more thing, and that's click over to this. Now, this is just a basic Google search, well, actually a basic Bing search, and right now I'm just showing advertisements for Planned Parenthood. You see children, you see men, you see women, you will see politicians. Now, I'm not really reading these because I don't really need to read them. I'm thinking with everything I showed from Planned Parenthood's own words, their services for men are at best minimal, if not non-existent. Because if you're talking about 250 men, thousand men in 2014, we have a population of over 100 million men in this country. You're not even anywhere near 5%. I mean, 5% of 100 million would be 5 million. They haven't even broke the million mark yet. But they talk, back in the other Planned Parenthood thing. If you look through it, it'll talk about how many millions of women did they help and the nice giant number that's attached to it, and that's fine and dandy. But they get government funding. They get a lot of government funding. So much government funding that they need it to survive. But remember, when I looked up sex-based discrimination specifically talked about being disadvantaged. Allow me to go back and be reiterated one more time. The sex discrimination involving treating someone, an applicant or employee, unfavorably based on that person's sex. Back to the advertisements. You're being treated unfavorably by Planned Parenthood. If you're a man, they don't have very many services for you. They give you virtually minimal care. Everything they do is centered around women. And this is how they will go away. All it takes is one politician to use the government definition of sex discrimination, point to Planned Parenthood and say, you need to produce 50-50 results within 1 year. I mean, is it not feminists and these same people, social justice and all the and whatevers that agree to all this crap? These are the same people who go to the government and say, make companies give women jobs without merit. You do the same thing to Planned Parenthood. Planned Parenthood, 50% of your organization's patients need to be men or you will be defunded. And here's the thing. Even if just say they could pull it off, they will already be they dig their own call. Yep. Even if they were capable of actually doing it, they would be digging their own grave. Planned Parenthood has been around for a very long time and has been advertising itself as women's health care for a very long time. That's how people see it. That's how people know it. So the odds of them pulling it off are very slim. But let's just say they're capable of pulling it off. Then that means that same person who put the challenge in the beginning, all they have to do is turn around and say, looking at your actions, the behaviors you took to make this happen, you were already being discriminatory. You knew you were being discriminatory, and you can still make the case to defund them. So yes, Planned Parenthood can go down within 1 year. All it takes is for one politician to challenge them on the basis of being discriminatory based on sex. And this was the Fierce of Speech. Thanks for listening.